What's up, guys? I'm back for another video. Today we're gonna be doing a little bit different of a video from the ones I've been doing. Instead of having a just all kind of weightlifting video that I've been kind of doing for the recent videos, I'm gonna be doing one that's more of a sit down talking and kind of breaking down some of my lifting principles and everything like that and the way I train. Today we're going to be talking about why I brought back heavy singles and like kind of heavier sets back into my training. So we're going to kind of be breaking that down. Um, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for everyone who watches these videos. We're going to be trying new videos, anything like that. If there's anything you guys would like to see or any questions like that, feel free to leave them in the comments and we can touch on those in the future. So for this video, I'm going to kind of be talking about why most people think heavy singles are only for power lifters, and why that I don't really agree with that, and why I feel like they're beneficial for me. I'm not saying this is something that everybody is gonna really enjoy or gonna work for them, but for me, I've seen more progress and more enjoyment in the gym. I'm currently focused more on the bodybuilding side of lifting. But I've recently added the heavy singles back into my training. The reason for this is just I was having fun with it. It's helping me kind of build my strength up and kind of focus more on my form, and that helps overall with my sets and my heavier singles. And I'm going to be talking about how I program them back in and why they've actually helped boost and elevate my bodybuilding training as of recently, and everything like that. I'll try to include some of the clips I have of my recent lifts. Nothing too crazy. I don't think I have too many videos of most of my PRs, but I've been hitting some good heavy singles and just like heavy sets recently, and so I've been mindful of trying to get a little bit of video of it so I can kind of talk about them in this video. I've been kind of having this plan for a while. Couple other video ideas I've been trying to think of, but we're gonna be trying to keep getting those out in the future and everything. But we'll get straight in the video, and I hope you guys enjoy. Part one, boom. Why I took heavy lifting out of my training and my splits, and kind of what made me come to that conclusion, I would say. Um, During my more of my bodybuilding phase, my goal shifted into kind of managing my volume in my training a little better. So, you know, being able to get adequate volume to the muscles you're training so you can get the most amount of growth you can. So, I've definitely played around with that a lot and kind of worked with what works with me. Um, some people like to shoot a little higher for set volume or rep volume. I've kind of found a sweet spot where I like to do around like 2 sets per like body part. And depending on the exercise and muscle group, I don't try to shoot too high for my rep ranges, but I try to keep that intensity on it. So, good enough weight to really push, but, not just doing like 1 to 3 reps because that's not really breaking down as efficiently as I would like. Um, Focusing on more of hypertrophy, that's a big part of kind of making sure you're training your muscles effectively, actually being in control of the weight and everything like that. When you're lifting heavy, normally you tend to get it up any way possible and don't really focus on anything else but maintaining form and getting the weight up. So that was also something. And then heavy singles can also lead to injuries. The background I came from, I used to do a lot of that when I was a little younger, getting into the gym for the first part of my journey. And because of sports and everything, I definitely had a lot of injuries, in like my shoulders, my knees, everything like that, to where they really didn't do much for me, but just kind of add on some wear and tear and just kind of hurt more. And it wasn't really leading to anything too crazy or successful, with heavy lifting. Um,
Push it, push it, push it. Let's go. Push it. Oh yeah.
and also that leads to, when you're going for PRs and everything and you're not really programming it correctly or having your training or diet align with the type of training you're doing, the recovery time can be a long time. Like it if you go for a heavy bench PR and you're not eating right, training right, like that can take you out for the entire week and you won't be able to really do much afterwards, even just because of the fatigue that follows. So, for a while, it didn't really fit my priorities in training. So I kind of strayed away and really tried to dial in my training and kind of figure out what works best for me. Part two. All right. What changed and why I brought them back? I'm gonna be honest, I really just missed it. Like, when you're in here working out and like you're doing the same stuff every week, to kind of gain muscle and everything like that, that's your satisfaction. You get to see the progress in the work you do, but that's not always the fastest thing, and so you don't get that instant gratitude as you would a heavy bench, a heavy deadlift, heavy squat, things like that. And I definitely enjoy trying to throw on some weight on there and push some good weight. Always like that's always super fun for me, and so it was always still there to a degree, not like it was before, or not really focused on that. But I also wanted to keep growing in my strength, and so I was kind of thinking of a way to balance it within my split and my training and everything. And so I wanted to maintain the strength I had and maybe even shoot it up more, while also growing, size as well. Realize size and strength also don't have to compete. That's a big thing. Like you can still look good and be strong. Power lifters, they're not as focused on the actual bodybuilding aspect of it, but those go hand in hand. As you are in here longer and training correctly and intensely eating good, you're gonna get stronger. You're gonna look better. It kind of goes hand in hand. And just kind of my confidence under heavyweight was kind of lacking. Like I would kind of doubt myself in the fact that it's a big mental game getting under heavier weight and everything like that. And I wouldn't really be too confident. I'm like, I haven't done this in so long that can I still do this? Heavyweights are a skill that benefit from practice. So incorporating that inside of my schedule at some point helped me build more confidence and actually maintain the strength that I had lost and kind of elevate it again to help me kind of get more strength in my accessories other than just like my main core lifts. But that's kind of the reason I brought them back into my training. Why heavy singles help bodybuilding? For me, it's just the skill of being able to practice heavier loads while lifting. Being able to handle and be confident with heavier weight while you're lifting, even when it's not for like one reps or things like that, will help you get more intensity in your workouts with more weight, to help progressively overload throughout your sets. You don't want to be stuck at the same weights forever, everything like that. As you grow, you want your weight to grow as well. So that kind of helps you prepare for that and kind of build that. Um, Also, improve technique. When you're focusing on heavy singles and like heavy weight lifting, the most important thing to avoid injury is warming up, making sure you're prepared for it, and your form while doing it. And being able to just polish off your form for some of those essential lifts will help transfer to all your lifts in general. And so that'll help you better activate the muscles you want to in your workouts and avoid injuries throughout it. Um, and also just kind of, you know, the strength carryover is really important. When you kind of work towards that heavy bench, once you start benching, 225 for like 10, then that's like a good aiming point where you can kind of gauge where like your max will sit around, and that's when you can start trying new weights. Once you hit like squat like 315 for 8, you're like, okay, now I can start trying heavier weight. It's that understanding how when you're able to handle certain weights for a higher amount of reps, you're able to kind of progressively overload in a way that you're gonna work towards that higher weight every single time you work out. That becomes a percentage of your max. Part 5, how I started programming. I'm back in. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not really going to be using the fancy like RPE and stuff like that, or like percentage of your max. And if you're really like dedicated on, becoming like a power lifter and everything like that, track your percentages, track the sets and weights you use every week. That's going to be the most accurate and efficient way to do it. But for me personally, that's not my goal. So that's not what I've been doing. I've been kind of just programming it back in my own way. A way I've been doing that is in my split right now. I am doing an Arnold push pull. So at the beginning of the week, I'm doing a chest back, then I'm going to arms, legs, and then push pull. So in that, I have my heavy chest back days where I'm benching, I'm deadlifting, I'm doing one set, like one incline exercise, one lat exercise with those, just to kind of make sure they get warmed up and ready for those heavier loads and everything like that at the beginning of the week to kind of set the tempo for the week, get me in a good mindset, and also just practice the heavier workouts that I've been kind of neglecting for the past month. So it's just kind of getting me back in it, getting in that mindset, and just that consistency. For my bench, I was benching 275 for one probably this time last year. I stopped benching and I cut down, and I lost a lot of my strength in my bench. It went back down to like 225, not great, like 225 for maybe like 3 reps. Um, and so my starting point, once I started eating more, I started adding that bench day, and I went from, once I got 225 for 8, I would throw on 245, try to get that to 4 to 6. And then, the one rep, I would try to get like one heavy set per lift. And then depending on the day, I would do a deload set. So like a set where I'm still polishing off that form and everything. Whole time I'm reworking on my form, making sure I have my 3 points of contact, everything like that. That's super important, and just like managing the load when unracking and just kind of going down and up, being able to handle that weight accordingly is super important. So that's kind of how I was doing my bench. Deadlift, I was working on rack pulls, deadlifts, kind of getting my form right on both of those so I would be able to handle the weight that I used to be. So I've got it back up to repping 405 on deadlift. So that's not terrible. I'm hoping to kind of shoot for some more soon, but I've been kind of doing that and I've been liking it a lot just with the feeling I get, like the activation in my upper back and my lower back. I needed something that was kind of hitting my lower back a little more. So those have been really good. I've just been kind of, doing a warm up set, a working set of like 4 to 6 reps, and then going to 3 reps on deadlift. Um, I've tried a 1 rep. I'm not going to be doing that too often with deadlifts just because of how heavy those sets are. So I'm going to be sticking a weight where I can hit it from like around 3 reps for my top set. But for my bench, yes, just being comfortable with trying the one set heavy, not your true max, anything like that, but just something that's going to be challenging enough and get you a feel for the weight. And for my squat day, my leg days, I love squatting. That's like my biggest thing. I'll always get in there, do some cardio, warm up my legs. Um, I'll get in there, do some like hamstring curls, leg extensions to kind of warm up my legs, my knees, everything like that. Do my mobility. As we've seen in previous videos, I like to warm up pretty good before. I'll have to do a video on just kind of how I prepare for that and warm up, just my mobility. And then from there, I've done right now, my max is the 445. I've been able to rep 425 and 405 both unequipped. Um, Part six, why I'm not like overly chasing PRs and everything and keeping them easy. I'm not chasing a PR every week. I'm not any of that. I'm just kind of trying to get my strength up, maintain it, while also maintaining volume for bodybuilding. Um, so, don't be overly obsessed with just chasing a new PR every week. Like grinding for reps, it's important to get your form down and making sure your program makes sense for you. You're not overreaching, you're not undertraining, but you're at a point where you're pushing yourself each week and preparing yourself for the heavier sets. Um, you know, Everything like that, and just leaving the gym feeling good and confident with what you did. Part 7, recovery. With the added stress that you get from lifting heavy, recovery is important and everything that goes into that. Sleep is going to be such a helper. That's where your body recovers, that's where you're going to get energy for your workouts. Pre workout can only do so much. A good night's rest is not matched. Nutrition, making sure you're eating correctly, eating right for your training. Um, if you're looking to kind of still gain size and do this while also training very like intensely throughout the week, maybe staying in a little bit of a surplus to have a little more energy for those heavier lifts, and everything like that. Or if you're in a more of a deficit or maintenance, just making sure you're getting like some carbs in before your workout to have some energy, and everything like that. High protein, maintaining all the muscle that you have. Um, and if recovery drops, you might have to reduce the frequency of what you're doing it. Instead of every week, maybe every other week, or if you're doing it twice a week, once a week, just because you don't want to risk injuries. You don't want to risk it's not worth it if that's not your goal you're chasing, especially if the recovery isn't there. Skip the single for the week. It's okay, stick to your program, adjust it as you need, and everything like that. Final thoughts. For me, my main message is bodybuilding and strength training doesn't have to exist in separate worlds. Heavy singles are a tool, not the goal. They're there to change things up in your workouts. Used smartly, they'll help you maintain strength, improve your strength, confidence, everything like that, and make your hypertrophy and volume work feel better. Not chasing your PR and strength training only is going to be good for you. It's a good way to have fun in the gym and everything. Like for people that love lifting heavy weight, I came from football, like lifting in football gyms. You're chasing heavy weight. That's all we're doing. And you're just trying to get strong, explosive, everything like that. And I'm always going to carry a part of that with me. So being able to still kind of feed into that is always great. It makes me enjoy the gym more. That's the most important thing. At the end of the day, you still want to build as much muscle as possible. Heavy singles aren't replacing the bodybuilding work, they're helping you get more out of it. If you enjoy lifting heavy and you don't want to sacrifice muscle growth, this might be just like a simple addition to your split, your training. That's worth trying. That's something I've been doing and I've been really enjoying it. Everything's, it doesn't have to be super polished, it doesn't have to be super scientifically proven, everything like that. It just got to work for you. So that's kind of just what I wanted to talk about. Just kind of break down what I've been liking and changing recently in my workouts. Um, but that does conclude the video. I really appreciate you for watching. Thank you so much. If you liked what you saw, any like questions, things you would like to see in the future, feel free to leave them in the comments. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and we will catch you in the next one. Before you start the video, let me speak to the people.
It's already speak.
Is it recording?
It's recording, sir.
Let me speak to the people real quick. It's all about, getting in here.
Yes, sir.
I would rather die
You would rather die.
than acknowledge to myself that I'm that loser.
You're the man.